Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Amma ba'd, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala advises in His glorious book in Surah Al-Anbiya, chapter 21, in the first verse of that chapter. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقترب للناس حسابهم وهم في غفلة معرضون. The time of their account has approached for the people while they are in heedlessness, turning away. Now Surah Al-Anbiya is a Makkiyah, is a surah that was revealed in Mecca. And typical of the chapters that are revealed in Mecca, they deal with the essential topics of creed, of Aqidah. They deal with belief in Allah, the correct belief in Allah as the creator and disposer of all affairs. It deals with belief in the last day, and it talks about stories of the prophets and the examples of the prophets. So from the beginning of the chapter, it deals with a very essential topic for mankind, the approaching time of account. Now, anything that's moving towards its destination will eventually get there. So, when you look at our life, one day, 1 hour passes, 1 day passes, 1 month, 1 year, time moving on. Time keeps moving on until we get to our destination, which is the hour. And the hour could be the time of death, could be the final hour. So time marches on until death arrives. And approaching, that means we are on a path that leads to that eventual destination, which is taking the account in the hereafter. In life, we have leeway to do whatever you want. You want to believe, you don't want to believe, you want to do good, you want to do bad. You can do whatever you want. But the truth is, we are responsible for everything that we say and do, and we will be held accountable for it one day in front of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Every word we say, every word we don't say, every action or inaction, every penny that we have, Allah is going to ask us, where did you get it from and what did you spend it on? All of these topics, this is part of our aqidah, our creed. That's what should direct your life, is the day of account has to be front and center in your consideration as you go through life. Yawm al-Hisab. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala didn't say that the day of judgment is approaching. He said the day of account is approaching. Now, anyone who has gone through an audit knows what that word means, to be audited. You're basically naked. They're going to come in when you get an IRS audit or something. They come in, they uncover all secrets. Your whole, life is out on full display. You have nothing. There's nothing to hide. They're going to uncover everything when you go in. Anyone who has, taken money out of a register while nobody's paying attention, they may do it for a little bit, but at some point, the auditors come in and say, hands off the register. We're going to look at all the receipts, all the sales, all the money. What kind of a feeling would that person who's been taking money out of the account have? The shock and horror that all of the stuff that he's been doing, now it's uncovered. It's going to be out in the open for everyone to see, and they'll be reckoning for the action. Now, how about when the angel of death comes suddenly and the accounting begins? That's what we have to keep focusing on, that you cannot just go through this life and not consider the ramifications of your actions and inactions. Because, Allah says, beware of that day of accounting. That means live your life correctly so you don't have to suffer an audit on the day of judgment. Because Allah's accounting is accurate and thorough. Nothing is hidden from Him. Nothing, small, large, He knows everything. Everything is documented in a manifest that cannot be disputed. Now, in life, there are three types of people. you have pious people, good people, and you have sinners and disobedient people, and then you have the heedless people who are in a state of forgetfulness and unawareness, ghafla. And that's what the verse is addressing. Those people who are heedless of what is waiting for them and going through life not thinking where they're going and what is waiting for them. So this last type is the most critical, that Allah sends these directives to wake them up. Because pious people, you're good. Keep doing what you're doing. Sinners, at some point, the sin is going to take a toll on you, and you can't stand it anymore, and you'll wake up. But the heedless ones, the ones in ghafla, they're asleep. They're spiritually asleep. They have no idea that they're doing anything wrong, so there is no need to change. And these are specifically the people that Allah is addressing in this surah, Surah Al-Anbiya, and why He sent the messengers to wake up these types of people that are spiritually asleep. You cannot be asleep. You have to wake up and be alert to what is waiting for you. Now, these people are the ones who forgot about what is waiting for them. They are heedless. They are consumed with planning the next 20 years of their life, and they have no guarantee they're going to finish the day that they're living in. They are consumed with chasing pleasures of this life. Everything, chasing, the best house, the best car, the best food, the best this, the best that, with no regards of how they get it or what the ramifications of their actions are. They are consumed with work. They don't have time to educate themselves about the religion, about where they're going, what they should be doing. They have no time. They're consumed with hobbies, with work, with everything else. So death comes as a shock for this type of people, because suddenly the accounting is here and they're not ready. They did not prepare. They just went and did whatever they want in their life. Now accounting begins. So Allah wants to warn this type of people that you need to wake up and be awake and alert, not in ghafla and mu'rid. Ghaflatin mu'ridun. Ghafla, they're heedless, and mu'rid, they turn away from Allah. They don't care. They don't care about halal and haram. They don't care what is lawful and unlawful. They don't care. Allah is not is not factored in their decision making and in their life. For those, the hour is a shock, is a disaster for this type of people. When you ask them about the faith, they may say, oh, it's not fit for this time. It may be valid for 1,500 years ago, but in modern time, it's not practical, which is nonsense. This faith is good for every age and every time and every place, and more so today than it was 1,500 years ago. We so much need it today than they did, back then. So heedlessness and turning away are two fatal sicknesses that befalls people. And a believer on the opposite side is awake, alert, and seeks closeness to Allah. He doesn't run away from Allah. He goes towards Allah. Ya Allah, what pleases you so I can do it? That's what a believer does. He is not in ghafla and mu'rid. He is muqbil. He is awake. He is alert. He knows the true nature of this life. He knows why he is here on this earth. He knows where he's going. He knows what he's going to face in the hereafter because he studied. He sought the closeness to Allah. He studied the scriptures. He tried to live his life the way Allah wanted him to live it. He does not marry for pleasure. He marries so he can have pious kids who can support the faith and pray for him after he's done. He does not work just to benefit himself. He works to benefit others, by donating, by providing a service to others. A believer is awake and he knows right from wrong. You don't do things willy-nilly as a believer. You always stop before you do something, does it please Allah? Does it anger Allah? That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to just follow every woman desire that you have and do whatever you want. There's hisab waiting for you. There's accounting for every action and inaction, for every word uttered or held back. And a believer is awake. He knows he cannot just go out and hurt people or even hurt animals. He knows that there's a Lord. These animals have a God that has a creator that will take account on their behalf. That's what a sound aqidah does to a believer. You can't just go out and hurt people and hurt things and do whatever you want and destroy and do whatever you like. No. You are bound by the faith. You are bound by Allah's directives. And because you know you will be held responsible. So this knowledge is obligatory on every believer. I mean, you have to know the basics of your aqidah, of your creed. You can't just go through life. Ignorance is not an excuse. The books are available. The material is readily available at your fingertips on every phone, on every computer. The books are all over. Religious people, our scholars, our Maulana, our Imams, they're all available if you have any question. You cannot just go through life, claiming ignorance and then tell Allah, "Hey Allah, I didn't know." Didn't He give you plenty of time to know? What did you do? You were busy working? Were you busy having fun? Where is the time that you dedicate to learn about the basics of your faith? Where is the reading and comprehending the Quran? Where is halal and haram? Where are all of these things? We have to dedicate time because that knowledge doesn't come to you by osmosis. You have to make a point to study. You don't just go wake up one day, it's like, I have a PhD. Did you study? No, I didn't even go to the university. That's baloney. You have to put the effort to get that aqidah. So our creed must be sound. You cannot pretend like you're on the right track without validating that you are on the right track. Because Allah is going to take account and He's going to use His scale. So you'd better measure yourself against Allah's scale in this life, so that the accounting in the hereafter will be easy, because you've already audited yourself. And the people who audit themselves hard, the harder you audit yourself in this life, the easier the audit is on the day of judgment. Because you've done everything that you can. Allah will take a look at your prayer, at your good deeds, wave them in. Versus, he was heedless. Get the accounting. Now that the thorough accounting gets in, and you don't want to get into that with Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. You want to be waved in. So make sure that you take account daily. Before you go to bed, what did I do today? Did I do something wrong? Make istighfar, make amends. Take account of what you're doing and correct before Allah takes account. أقول قولي وأستغفر الله لكم فاستغفروه إنه الغفور الرحيم.